Supposed to be spring, but it sure doesn't feel like it, guys. RW out here in the shop, tinkering with my RedCat RS10. I finally decided to really go whole hog on it and cut these frames down, these chassis plates, whatever the heck you want to call them. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow the edge of this straight down on each side, cut that off. Then I'm going to go to the center, in between here and here. You might see there's a tiny little scratch mark I made to give myself a reference point. And then that's where I'm going to end up drilling a hole. This here like this. Of course I'm going to make sure I can do it as nicely as possible. And I bent up some links and checked out the length of the Wraith shocks I've got, and they will mount to the axle if I trim this off. Put a hole there, everything will line up, everything will fit. I'm not going to show you my links because they're really ugly. They're embarrassingly ugly. I'm just getting started bending links. Like I said, guys, I've only had this thing less than a month. I'm an RC noob, but I'm fascinated by every aspect of it. It's really getting my gears grinding. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll lay awake at night thinking about it. It's peculiar. I'm going to show you the tool of choice for this. For me, now I could do it on the scroll saw. I could even knob it out on the bandsaw. I could come over here on the grinder. I could just grind it down. You know, it's aluminum soft, no big deal. But I like my fine Multimaster a lot, and I love this particular cutting blade. This is a Swiss steel blade that it'll cut just about anything. And what's really nice about it is that it really wants to cut a straight line more than anything else. And if you set up a little guide like this to run your blade against, like this, okay, you can knob this thing right off and then just touch it up with a little sandpaper and it'll be a beautiful thing. Now, that's a little more time consuming, you know, you got to clamp it and all this stuff, but I got nothing but time. So let me set this camera up over here and I'll knob off on this thing and you can watch. Come in a little bit so you can see. Alright. No big deal. It's kind of noisy. What I like to use a little cutting wax, cutting lube on it because aluminum is gummy, tends to gall, tends to get up into stuff. But as you can see, it makes a super nice cut. Right. So do that 3 more times, and then I'll be ready to make a little drilling jig, and then I'm going to drill it. Okay, at this point, I'm ready to rinse, lather, and repeat. Gave it a little file action. I will be taking these sharp points off once I see exactly where the battery plate's going to mount up on it. Okay, and I'll take the little sharp points off of it. But I just wanted to get that dialed in. Alright then, I'm going to get this guy going. Alright, now rather than just winging it, trying to drill a hole at an angle or something crazy like that, what I've done is I got a little piece of 3/8 acrylic here, laid this down on it, used the correct sized number drill bit there, which is for 440 screws, and Then I'm going to chuck that up in my drill press, create a drilling jig, and then I'll be able to control everything and make sure everything goes exactly the way I want. And once I get the holes drilled in one plate, then I'll put the plate on top of the other plate and do the same thing. That way all my link points will be the same place. And then I'm going to enlarge the hole. I'm going to enlarge all these holes because these holes are for 2.5 millimeter and I want them to be for 3 millimeter. Alright, I'll let you watch the action here. First thing I got to do to make sure is I got to make sure, absolutely sure, that my deal is just right. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm drilling right in the center of this member for the most amount of strength, right? So I measured across, and it is about 9/30 seconds from here to here. So I'm going to go 9/64, okay, which I can show you. I've got that set to 9/64 right there, and that'll give me dead in the center. So I'll make a little scratch mark. This I just made some rough scratch marks just to get some ideas. I was using a pocket knife actually, but now I'm actually going to use my scratch awl and my nice Starrett combo square here, because I'm not a machinist, I'm a woodworker, but I can still work to within 64ths of a precision with this, so that'll help me out. And then I'll make my little scratch marks, okay, and then I'll get the my little drilling block that I made and clamp it to it, and then I'll get 2 holes, and then I'll really have something I can work with, and I can just put this on the other one, and then it'll be much easier to do the second set. Okay. There we go. Alright, that was no big deal, I guess. Irreversible mods. Alright, let's have a look at my work here. Okay, they're looking pretty darn centered to me. So this will make a super nice drilling guide for the next one. It won't be such a pain in my ass because I'll be able to nut it up.